action. Welcome to the second Minisode of Founder Diaries. On today's episode, we're talking about the perfect formula or a good formula to have a good, productive morning. And a lot of us have been cultured. You roll out of bed, you pick up your phone, Instagram, TikTok, check your messages, check your email. Immediately, your cortisol is, spiking because not remembering all the things you need to do you've not done yet. So I wanted to walk you through what I try to do in the mornings to have a good morning and also spend time pouring into myself first before I go and give myself into the world. So social media, the first thing actually when you open your eyes is not healthy for your brain, in fact. So when we interact with Instagram, with TikTok, the reason why it feels so good to be on there and why you keep scrolling is it activates dopamine in your brain. But when you do that first thing in the morning, over time, it is rewiring your brain because it's such an easy access to the dopamine. Other things we do for dopamine that it require more effort is like finalizing that email or sending out that project or finishing that essay or doing 50 burpees or doing your 1 hour workout. But you see, if your brain says, I can just get that from scrolling, that is what you're going to instinctively want to keep reaching for. So when you do it first thing in the morning, you're already affecting how your brain is going to work for the day. And you'll notice that days where you start with Instagram or TikTok in the morning, you have a really hard time focusing the rest of the day. You just find yourself intuitively reaching for your phone. So what I suggest actually is when you first wake up in the morning, no Instagram, no TikTok, no scrolling, no emails, don't even check your WhatsApp. I want to say for like the first even 2 hours if you can manage. And first spend some time actually just getting in touch with your body. So get out of your bed, do some stretches, close your eyes. And I like to do this activity where I try and be in my body. I feel like we spend so much time in our minds and in the future and doing things, but do this first thing in the morning. You want to close your eyes and then feel all your different senses, like your fingers. What are you feeling? You can feel your toes. What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you hearing? And then you can open your eyes and see, like, what are you seeing? And you can name 3 things as you're doing all of those things. Like now I can see a light, I see a book, I see flowers. I am tasting nothing. What am I hearing? And that just helps to ground you in your body first thing in the morning. And then personally, I like to take to pen and paper because I feel like I get really good ideas first thing in the morning. So you can just sit down and blurt out whatever is in your mind, whatever is running around in your head, just put all of that on paper. It doesn't really have to be journaling, it can just be what you're thinking. And I find that helps me identify maybe what's bugging me. I'll get a new idea I want to implement, or I'll start getting ahead of, okay, maybe what I need to do and organize that, as opposed to just having all of those thoughts in my head. I feel like when it's in your mind, it feels a lot worse than what it actually is when you actually come and sit down to put that on paper. The next thing I want you to do is actually get your body moving. If you can go for a walk, if you can go to the gym, just something to get your mind moving. And again, just stay off of socials. If you listen to a podcast, it's a really good time to actually read or try to consume content because your brain is just really wired for absorption at this time. And then after that, you can go ahead and check your WhatsApps, your emails, your all of that. I find that it's a good way to start the day, that you're pouring into yourself first before you go and actually pour out. And this doesn't really have to be every day because I know how TikTok in the morning can really slap. So you can just have this be at least your 3 or 4 days during the week where you really need to have high focus. Actually, on days where I really, really need to be locked in, I don't go on Instagram until like noon. That's why I'm able to get through all of my tasks, especially if you have a big project pending that requires so much focus. Finish that first before you hop online. And then also once you do, you feel less the pressure of, okay, 5 more minutes, I have to go back to work. And you can actually just take your time to scroll. A tip that I actually saw someone share online the other day is if maybe you have to open it for work or whatever reason, if you find something that's interesting, just save it. Save. And then you can assign yourself a time maybe over the weekend where you just give yourself time to binge. So it also doesn't feel like you're completely restricting yourself from being online, especially those of us who make money also from being online. And I hope that this framework was useful. So just to recap, no social media first thing in the morning. Spend some time getting in touch with your senses, do some journaling or just write down whatever you're thinking, and then go for a walk or get some exercise. And sometimes we think exercise has to be the gym for an hour and lifting heavy weights. It can be as simple as going up and down the steps in your house, in your apartment building for 15 minutes. And that gets your blood moving. And actually that is really good for your brain and also gives you some dopamine. It gets you started on a good ride for the day. And that has been the Founder Diaries minisodes. Drop any comments or thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening or watching this to. Bye. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Beauty Square KE. Beauty Square was my first full-blown business and the brand that pulled me into entrepreneurship and shaped so much of what I share here. In many ways, this podcast is an ode to that journey, the lessons, the growth, and the courage to start before everything was figured out. At Beauty Square, we're passionate about helping everyone become a skin expert, offering authentic products from TikTok favorites to proven solutions for acne, dark spots, and more, with a team ready to guide you through all the right choices. Visit us at our CBD or Lavington branches for expert treatments like facials, waxing, body scrubs, and massages from our sister brand Sage. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at beautysquare.ke and at Sage Skin spelled SAGESKNN. And thank you for tuning in.